Hi, Talia here, and today on I Got Back Up, I'm joined by Richard Whitehead. Richard was born with a double knee amputation and was driven by a desire to compete professionally in sport on the world stage. A double Paralympic gold medalist marathon runner, Richard has won gold at the London 2012 and Rio 2016 Paralympic Games and has run marathons around the world. He has continued to push boundaries, not just in sport, but also in how we think about limitations, mindset, and possibility, encouraging others to think about what they do have and not what they don't. So, Richard, when you hear the phrase, I got back up, what does it make you think and feel?
I think, in my perspective, it's more about a resilient moment or a moment of meaning, and it's very personal to the individual, and it means it's a real kind of pivotal moment in life. And for everybody that's listening or watching, it's about kind of maximizing that opportunity and also understanding that it's an opportunity for learning as well. I've had those opportunities in life that I've either created myself or I've obviously had a traumatic experience or you've had a failure within, I don't know, business or whatever. And you kind of actually, when you're down in that moment, it's a real time of understanding and reflection and that you can move forwards. And then you look back at those moments in the future and go, actually, those were pivotal moments, and they are the reason why I am who I am now.
Mm, I agree with you, especially the learning part. We don't even realize how much we can learn and we
No,
can change and we can create when we are down in, the downward spiral of whatever that might be for whoever.
yeah, and sometimes it's emotional, financial, physical, and sometimes they're intertwined as well. So maybe it's a physical kind of moment that's also affecting you financially, and then also obviously emotionally that affects you as well. And trying to have people around you that support those moments is really key. But also, you will find that within those moments of struggle, that some people are just passengers within your life and don't really have that effect and don't really have that supporting those supporting mannerisms that enable you to be a better person. And yeah, yeah, you really understand who your friends are and who your allies are in those moments. And it's fantastic when you have those moments to shine and you've got lots of people around you celebrating. But how many of those individuals are there to pick you up when it's not so when those moments aren't so golden? And yeah, it's about kind of understanding that life has those twists and turns. It's not just a linear or straight path, and we learn a lot about ourselves in those moments.
And it's never going to be linear. Whatever's happened in the past, whatever's going to happen in
No,
the future, it's never going to be linear. But you're right. It's you really find out who the real people are in your life, who aren't just there for the good times, but
yeah,
been there for you through the bad times, and then it can really cement and make a friendship or relationship, whatever it is, a lot stronger and deeper.
yeah, and I've been successful with obviously building teams around me for sporting success and my charity and business, etc. But a lot of the times it's about kind of picking those individuals around value and what value they have to you, and not in regarding monetary value, but also like relationships and how you can go on a real journey with those individuals and build characters and have personalities within your team to not only add value to your mission and uh your endpoint, but also understand that you're building their characteristics as well, and hopefully everybody kind of buys into that mission. And sometimes when you put people into place in your team, maybe it doesn't work out, and then you need to kind of move those people on, and that's fine to do that. Again, it's when you kind of have success, sometimes it's easy to just count on the same people to continue that success. But sometimes that's how far they go, and you need to put other people or new perspectives in place to enable you to have more golden moments. And yeah, when I stand on top of that podium, I want to represent my whole team, not just myself. And sometimes you need to freshen things up as well. And knowledge is power, obviously, but it's what you do with that wisdom. And we need to continually grow as individuals to have success. And that success might be like small nuggets of success, or it'd be massive learnings. And we need to celebrate each moment.
I like when you said it with regards to standing on the podium. It's not just you, realistically, it's everyone that you've
Yeah.
encountered throughout your life to get you to where you are, and the people, the core people that are around you, your team that have also shaped you into becoming the person you are today and do in the future. Because it's not this life, humans, we're not on our own in this world.
No.
It's not.
No. And those individuals, there's lots of different characteristics of people that do, like say, shape you how you are now. And everybody's different. Everybody's like different shapes, sizes, languages, ages, etc., religions, sexuality, etc. And all those characteristics really do add value. And it's about understanding that we need to celebrate difference and not look at difference as a real challenge, barrier, or obstacle. And when you embrace that, you really do have a greater understanding of your environment, and then also create those safe spaces for people to grow. And what I tried to do was have lots of learnings around different groups of people. So embrace different areas of society to then get a real understanding of what life means to those groups of people. Because obviously my demographic of disabled people is so wide, and there's obviously lots of intersectionality moments of that. So you could be a female, a wheelchair user, LGBTQ plus, BME, also in a wheelchair. So you've got obviously lots of different barriers and obstacles for that individual to have a safe space to communicate, for instance. Never mind sport or business or education. And uh, within those intersectionality groups, it's about trying to find those safe spaces. And if you don't have experience, empathy, knowledge within those areas, by listening, by hearing those groups, by seeing the impact that not having safe spaces has, uh, then I don't think truly you can be inclusive. And that's what I did, obviously, from 2012, where I won my Paralympic gold medal. I've literally spent the last like 12, 13, 14 years embracing different minority groups to actually find out where I physically fit within inclusion.
It's interesting when you say it like that, where you physically fit within inclusion, because I think whether it's yourself, whether it's myself, whether it's anyone, feeling included and feeling safe in any kind of space. I think we're all searching for it, even if we don't realize we're searching for it. But it's a huge part of being human is feeling
Yeah.
included and feeling safe around the right people.
Yeah, and there's so many different touch points within communication that aren't very safe, or you've not got the safeguards. And I think social media is definitely one of them. And um, some of the interactions that can happen around that, and it is yeah, it's tough to manage, because obviously as soon as you put that digital imprint out there, it's got an opportunity for people to manipulate that, and to people to voice their opinions. And um, yeah, it's not a nice world. But also obviously the internet has the ability to connect people all over the world, and that's what's helped kind of get my message out there around kind of like sport, really, as a driver for me to um, communicate with a wider audience around the importance of movement, and then inclusivity, equality, diversity, and hopefully people see that obviously what I do is not just run a lot. It's more that I use running to hopefully mobilise communities.
Mm.
And yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity for me, and hopefully I utilise that as best I can. And also open the conversation that people do have around the reason why people are inactive or the reason why people do feel isolated. And also, like you just alluded to, what are those safe spaces? What do safe spaces look like? And what people's expectations are within safe spaces as well, because that's really important.
Mm. I agree because everyone's expectations are very, very, very different. So, and that's why.
Yeah, yeah. Mm. No, no, no. I say the disability community, because it is so diverse. Every disabled person is slightly different. So I'm a double leg amputee, and the next double leg amputee will have different either medical conditions or uh, different emotional barriers and obstacles, or they're totally different, even if they had exactly the same condition as myself, and the same as somebody that's got cerebral palsy or learning disability or hidden disabilities. And I feel that's across all minority groups, that people are completely different. And when we try to pigeonhole a community into, oh, yeah, so you're a disabled person, so uh, uh, I'll offer you an accessible parking space or accessible like restrooms or whatever, and they might not be things that are important to that individual. And without talking to the person that you're accommodating, it's um, it's a real kind of you're taking away the opportunity for that individual. You're just basically you're kind of putting things in place for them without actually asking them what their needs are. And for me, it's really important. Communication is really important, and we still don't get communication right for people.
Mm. It's interesting because I always say that it doesn't matter what you've been to, whether it's completely dissimilar or similar to somebody else. Your story is so personal to you and it's so
Yeah,
personal to everything you're going through. You'll relate to other people for different things, but it's still your story. And what works for you may not work for somebody else. But
yeah,
it's an important point to note, definitely.
yeah. And when you've got your digital imprint online, then it should reflect yourself, not you trying to be somebody else or you copying somebody else's digital imprint. So I quite like storytelling, and I quite like people just kind of telling their story in their own words, and whether it's to 6 million followers or three or four, it doesn't really make a difference.
Mm. Yeah, no, I agree. I do. I agree. So then, with storytelling in mind, do you want to take us back to wherever you think most resonates with you and your story and the person you've become today?
Yeah, wow. I think a lot of people obviously uh, talk about like my London 2012 success when I won my Paralympic gold medal in the stadium in front of 80,000 people, and that moment of kind of standing on the podium of having a call to action. And it probably is a big moment for me. But probably even before that, when I first started my running journey, I was kind of floating in and out of sport, and like, I was teaching PE, and at the time wasn't really kind of really focused on who I was, who I wanted to be. Um, yeah, partying too much with my friends, didn't really have any kind of clear focus. I'm not saying partying's bad, but I'm just saying that it didn't really help with a clear focus in life. And probably at that moment of London 2012 being announced in 2005, it gave me a real opportunity of focus. And I remember speaking to my marathon coach at the time, and she said, "Yeah, you just need to be there. You need to have that tracksuit, have that moment, and see where that goes." And obviously, I worked really hard, transition from marathons to track. Obviously, won my Paralympic gold medal, which is here.
No, it's
It's quite
beautiful.
nice. Yeah, it's badass. Yeah. Um, and yeah, the rest is history really. But when we talk about pivotal moments, you really have to. It's not about stars aligning because obviously I worked really hard for that moment, and I was in my 30s when I won that medal. Um, but I think you need to understand that you still have to have people around you that support you, and then when that moment comes, you need to grab it with both hands and then just run with it. Run with it however it goes, whether it creates some fantastic opportunities, whether it creates some real learning opportunities for you, whether it builds your community, whether it's I don't believe that having a massive following on social media or having a massive community defines you. I think it's about your self worth and understanding that those moments are opportunities of enrichment that come around sometimes once in a lifetime, sometimes every day. It just depends on who you are and how receptive you are um, to improving and to giving back. And um, there's just so I think life it isn't 9 to 5. Um, it's not something that we should just sit back and just wait for the phone to ring and for those opportunities. We should go out and get it. I think risk taking is a big part of that. We need to take more risks. I think it's uncomfortable. In some cases, very vulnerable. Um, but it's fantastic. You come out the other end thinking, actually, I've learned something about myself. I've learned something about life. Um, and hopefully, yeah, people look back at my career and just say it's not about running. There's a lot of other stuff that I've done, the humanitarian work I've done all over the world, the people that I support with my foundation, the Richard Whitehead Foundation, the charities, the stakeholders, the brands that I've worked with over the last like 14 years has been incredible. And yeah, probably the one moment that obviously sparked that was probably London 2012 and winning that medal, but it definitely started before then. It was more understanding that a disability isn't isn't going to define me, and that was something that probably I learned when I was in my teens.
Mm. 2 points actually, just on that one. You were saying the disability doesn't define you. And I think that's a really, again, important point to note for anybody listening, going through anything that they're going through, that what it is you're going through, it doesn't have to define you. Because a lot of people will let it define them. And I can see why.
Yeah,
But you don't have to let it define you. You can still do life and everything amazing that comes with it, despite what you're going through.
yeah, no, and I just think that we limit ourselves far too much. Why not? Like when I go and talk to like schools, colleges, universities, and talk about aspiration and say, look, if you want to go to Oxford and Cambridge with education, and you want to be a sportsman or woman, or be an astronaut, or whatever you want to be, just kind of go for it and aim for the stars. And maybe you won't get there, but you'll have a great ride and have a great learning opportunity, and maybe it'll take you in a different direction. But without those aspirations, you'll be sat in the same chair, or you'll be in the same village for the rest of your life, and you're not. And maybe you're happy with that, but I also think you've not maybe um, grown as much as you could have. And when I meet some of my like classmates that maybe haven't had the aspirations I had, maybe because they didn't have that struggle when they were younger. And I think through trauma and struggle, you do build that resilience that enables you to kind of kick on in life. You hear about kind of entrepreneurs that have obviously been very successful in whatever, right? And a lot of the time they've had to really overcome some physical, emotional, psychological trauma to be able to be where they are now. And maybe they've been knocked down 7 or 8 times to get up eight, kind of thing. And that's the important thing. Where yeah, there's always a tomorrow, and that's so important. That's so important that when you have those real bad moments in life, you don't feel that they define you, because I know some people do struggle with that.
Mm. And it's true, sometimes behind some of the brightest smiles in the world are the darkest stories, but
Yeah.
it is actually that's why they're so bright because of so much darkness that they've been through. So
Mm,
I understand that entirely. And we are our own worst enemies. We limit ourselves. Just I can't even. I've done it. We've all done it. We limit
yeah.
ourselves and we let our fear, we let our insecurities, our whether it is our traumas, anything, we let that get in the way. But you're right, life is limitless and there are so many opportunities out there. And when an opportunity lands in your lap, you do get two choices. If you hesitate,
Yeah.
you say no, you may never get that opportunity ever again. Even
Yeah.
if you don't feel ready, because believe me, I've done things and I haven't felt ready. You've got to do it anyway, no matter how stupid
Yeah.
you
How
just
stupid you feel, or just go for it. Yeah. Yeah. I've done. I've done. I've just said silly things before, and you kind of even like TV stuff, and you just think, oh my goodness, what an idiot. But you just kind of just think, oh, actually, like, so what? Like, life has those kind of moments, and you just kind of move on. I'd rather kind of do that and feel a bit silly than regret never doing it in the first place. And that's important. It's also really important that you're proud of who you are, and proud of kind of the moment that you have to shine. Again, it's you're you're your own person. You've got your own destiny, and not everybody's given that silver spoon. So a lot of people have to work hard for what they do. So if you work hard, then you should get the rewards for that. And I work 365 days a year. Every day of the year I work. I'll be training. I'm either working on a project. I'm building relationships with stakeholders, or I'm doing podcasts, or I'm I'm chatting to people about kind of my journey, and it's yeah, building something bigger and brighter for the future. And everything's layering your mission, and it's like a picture, isn't it? You picture you're painting a picture, you're putting layers on that picture to really build it up, and whether it's like the one on your left hand side that's really bright, or whether it's something that's a little bit darker that you kind of have to brighten up. Your picture should reflect you, and I'm still building mine for sure. And yeah, it's exciting. I like to be busy, and hopefully have some more golden moments as well.
and you never stop building. I think that's what people sometimes forget or they don't realize. And a lot of people, I know younger people in their 20s, 30s, if they feel like they haven't quite got something that, or whatever the thing is that all their friends might have, that doesn't
Mm.
mean you're behind in life. It doesn't mean you're a failure.
No,
You just said it. We're all on our own journeys. We're all unique.
yeah,
We've got our own destinies.
yeah, and don't be pulled into all this like themed kind of. There'll be something will be like big at the moment, and then people just like gravitate towards that instead of. Yeah, I see it all the time, and it just really annoys me. Like, you have somebody that's very successful in one field, and then just because something's quite big at the moment, like, oh yeah, like obviously my field, running, the amount of people that clearly don't run that now run, and it's like, oh yeah, I run. I'm like, what's all that stuff? I'm like, are you dancing? It's not running. I'm like, I don't care. Oh yeah, what do you do, Rich? I run. um, but it's about kind of having your own, yeah, having your own own area of expertise, um, having your own passion, whether that's anything, travel, sport, education, whatever. I think, and just running with it. Don't kind of dismiss your talent or passion just because it's not
Mm.
o- on vogue. And yeah, there's lots of things that I'm passionate about that I don't kind of openly talk about, and I think maybe I should do, because I think I don't know. I'm happy with what I'm doing at the moment, and it gives me a great platform to kind of reach as many people as possible. So yeah, if your listeners are passionate about, I don't know, falconry or I don't know, archery or whatever, just go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah. I completely agree. You have to just go for it, whatever it is, no matter.
Yeah, handbags or yeah, I
Yeah,
like fragrances. I quite like fragrances. I've got lots of those. Just go for it.
yeah.
Yeah, be passionate about it.
You have to be so passionate in your life and not worry about what anyone else thinks, or and I went through that. I cosplay and I like dressing up as superheroes, and I went
Yeah, nice.
when I was younger, when I was like, "Ugh,"
Yeah,
I was tentative about it. Now
yeah,
I
yeah,
embrace every part of it because it makes me happy.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, what makes you happy? Yeah, I think yeah, I think that's probably one of the reasons why I do what I do, especially sport wise, as well as yeah, seeing like other people's reactions to me competing, but also when they're able to kind of do something better themselves. That's a real kind of buzz moment where you somebody that's never been able to run before starts running, or somebody that I used to be a swimming teacher, somebody that had never swam before all of a sudden swam 10 meters or had the confidence to be able to swim on their own. It's very powerful, and the power of human spirit can really unlock potential,
Mm,
and it definitely has with running with me. But there's got to be a start point, and it's not yeah a gold medal. That's not your starting point. Your golden moment might be just having the confidence to be able to accept that that's for me,
mhm,
and then putting things in place. Because it took me a long time to go from a person that um, accepted their disability to somebody that then started running to then somebody that was then quite good at it and then won it at the Paralympic, obviously at the Paralympics. Um, so perseverance is like a big word for me. I had to be very perseverant, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, that's quite hard. Why don't you do wheelchair basketball or why don't you swim?" And I swam a lot. Um, but my passion was running, so I stuck with that, and then eventually I got there.
mhm. And I can vouch for that when you said whether it's someone that's never swum before and they swim X many meters and things like that, how fulfilling that is, because a year after my second knee surgery, I ran the
Yeah.
London Landmarks half marathon. And believe me, I'm not considering myself a runner, so don't worry. I haven't done much since. But my point is I never was wanted to run a half marathon ever.
Yeah,
It was just not what I wanted
yeah, yeah,
to do. And when the idea was obviously put towards me, I wanted to show myself I can, completely destroy my knees, but then I can still run a half marathon. I can put my body, my mind, and my soul through it.
yeah,
I remember every time I hit a new target in my training, how fulfilling even the training was before the actual event.
yeah.
And to sit back and know I've been able to do that after what I went through is one of the most rewarding experiences of my life.
Yeah, and it definitely does as well. And I think in the moments, it's quite difficult, like you were saying. Obviously, when you're training or running or whatever, it's difficult because you're having to do that. You're growing within that process. But then after you finish, the moments after are so fulfilling, and they then spark that something in you. You hear so many people that have finished a big challenge like a half marathon or marathon, whatever it is, and then it gives them a real spark to actually, because I've done this, then I want to do this and I want to do that after, and that's the reason why you do it in the first place. So that's so important that when you put yourself forwards and you put yourself in that vulnerable space, that you do the work, you do the training, you do the work that goes into the goal setting, because that training will then help you grow after you've completed the event.
Mhm.
Um, and there's yeah, it's like those people that I feel those people that just go, oh, I'm going to run a marathon tomorrow. They run a marathon, they finish just about. They can't walk for like 2 months because they've not trained. Motivation's low, etc., etc., etc. That's because they've not built that resilience and built that that training block, and they've not put themselves in that vulnerable space before the major event to then actually achieve their goals in a way that then is a catapult for what happens after. And that's the reason why I can run multiple marathons a year and I can do what I can do because I do a lot of training. I've just trained now and I feel knackered, like I told you earlier, but I feel that I've done my training. I've got my shake ready, and I'm ready to go. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's all about preparation. Preparation is key to success.
Yeah, I agree. And in any way, shape, or form, we were saying as well, when you look back on things like light and dark in life,
Yeah.
preparation you go through without even realizing you're going through in a, let's say, a spiral or a down moment or a dark moment, it's still preparation leading you to,
Well,
your
yeah,
goal,
yeah,
that
whatever you
light
want.
moment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and again, like obviously, I'm in my 40s, and a lot of people said that when are you going to retire? I had a celebration event in November after I'd completed my 100th marathon. And I think people at that celebration event expected me to retire at that event, but I've got like some real kind of crazy and some cool challenges planned ahead, and it's about just like controlling the controllables and definitely be the driver in your story. Don't be like drawn into this. There's always a narrative. People have got narratives, and my perspective on that is that people feel threatened by if you're doing what you're doing,
Mm.
and whether that's your podcast or your viewers and listeners are doing whatever in their life, those individuals that are around you creating that negative energy, going, well, oh, yeah, do you not want to give it a rest, or do you want to like, yeah, yeah, just make sure you take some time off? And I'm like, look, yeah, I'm all about pace. I'm all about 100 miles an hour. I understand that at some point you need to take your foot off the accelerator, but this is me. Like, it's not you. That's it. If you want to kind of not do anything and chill out for the rest of your life, that's fine. But I don't see myself retiring at all ever. I'm
Mm.
just gonna keep going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I agree
I
with
know
you.
it sounds crazy, but that's me.
See, it's funny because I don't think it sounds, for some people it probably would sound crazy, but I don't think it
Yeah.
sounds crazy because it's like you said, it's your life. You do it how you want to do it, and
Oh,
you.
yeah. Yeah. You get to I think the expectation isn't that, your parents or your parents' parents had a different perspective of life. You get to a certain age, you retire. Certain age, you kind of 2.4 kids, whatever, you kind of life kind then you live your life through your kids.
Mm.
Where I think for me, it's about young people need to have role models and people to aspire to. So why don't you show them the way and show them the path by being that high performance person within life as well as sport as well? And that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking, and I'm still searching for stuff as well within life. What motivates me to continue is searching for that. And when you're a sportsman or woman, sometimes you hang on to those key moments, and you just go, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a gold medal here and gold medal, and then that's all you talk about. And hopefully, when people talk to me or meet me, that they know it's not all about running. Like when I go around to my mates and we have a beer or have a chat, the last thing we talk about is bloody running, which is good. And and you need to have banter, and you need to have like an opportunity to just kind of just like relax with people that you feel comfortable with, and those people also are part of
Mm.
that team, around you, because you like I said to before, with this positive energy, you need to have positive energy around you, but you also need to have positive people around you that also support the narrative of where you want to go, or where you see yourself in the future. Because without those positive people, you're not going to have the elements that you need to grow.
Mm.
And again, sometimes people have to change their friendship groups, and they change the groups they're socializing with, because they're maybe not the right energy or the right people that enable them to get where they're going. and again, that's really important.
Yeah, it's hugely important and goes back to what we were saying before about your team. What
Yeah,
you consider your team to be, it's still the team that's around you.
yeah, and it's changed over the years. But yeah, a lot of the time it's about kind of putting people into situations where they are challenging and then learning from those relationships. And when you're in those moments where things can be quite challenging, people might go, "Oh, yeah, that's not my job," and then you go, "Actually, well, the relationship isn't about a job. Yeah, I might be paying you for the services as a practitioner or whatever, but I expect a humanistic approach. And if I've not got that, then maybe you're the wrong person." And I've done that before. I've changed people that have just treated the relationship as a working transaction. And again, it's really important to have people around you that buy into who you are because yeah, when those moments are tough, you want people that are honest, transparent, and authentic instead of people that are transactional.
Mm. Yeah, and when those moments are tough and you get through them, I find sometimes you can look back and you can think, wow, like I
Yeah,
was able to do that, but it doesn't
yeah,
move you on to the next thing in your life because if you've been able to get through something, whatever
yeah,
whatever the task at hand is or the challenge,
yeah,
you are going to be able to keep getting through things.
yeah. And that might be a bad relationship, or it could be anything. And and again, like we talk about painting pictures as well. Sometimes it's good to look back at some of your historical pictures of yourself and go, actually, yeah, I could tell I wasn't very happy in that moment, even though I was smiling, or vice versa. And I think again, that's why keeping those things as like physical cues to actually go, I'm not going back to that moment again
Mm.
because I was grumpy, or a lot of people say I'm grumpy. I was grumpy, um, or were you really kind of maximising that moment? And yeah, I just didn't. I enjoy life as much as I can, and I think the future of what I see, like leadership wise, especially, is be better, just to be better at everything. And I always think I can be better, and better through experience. I'm a kinesthetic learner, so I like to have like hands-on approach, and hopefully through like putting myself in those situations where I have to like shine, then hopefully I grow as somebody that can then deliver that message to those hard to reach individuals. And yeah, whether it's standing on a stage, um, talking to, I don't know, a couple hundred people about a topic that um, I'm not that educated in, or whether it's actually just talking one to one and try to kind of persuade somebody to change their perspective on life. Sometimes that skill set can throw you into lots of different areas and directions.
And also what you were saying before, to not always know and to have things unexpectedly happening in your life and to keep painting your picture
Yeah,
and not always have all the answers is incredibly exciting. No matter who you are, no matter what age you are, it's
yeah,
incredibly exciting because there's still so much in life to unfold.
yeah, and I also think like environmentally as well. Sometimes that has a massive impact on your opportunities to shine, and maybe perspective wise as well. And I've done quite a bit of humanitarian work, and when you go over, I've been Syria, Jordan, I've been Beirut, I've worked with the armed forces in America and the UK. And when you see people that have been affected through trauma, especially through conflict, it's it really does kind of puts a perspective on life. I did some work in Nepal with a human trafficking charity, and yeah, that was like I came away from that. I went with a friend of mine, and we came away going, "Holy crap!" Like, yeah, just put it into perspective when you got your kids, and you kind of when you see other young people that have been affected by human trafficking. I'm like, yeah, definitely does. And then you take away those. things, and it's a real call to action. It's like, well, how am I going to support this organisation, but also how are my behaviours going to change to really get young people to understand how fortunate they are in the UK, but to actually, if there are people in the UK that are also suffering from this, how am I going to have a positive impact on supporting that as well, and charity in general?
Mm.
And it definitely did. It definitely did. I came away with like a new perspective in life. Yeah.
Well, then, what's one thing you've learned about yourself then throughout your entire journey? What's something you've learned about yourself?
One thing. Yeah, anything's possible. Anything's clearly possible. And I think the tangible things in life, the things that are quite easy. Yeah, when you've got something you can physically move, it's so much easier than if you're trying to change people's perspectives or trying to, um, yeah. I think those tangible things are definitely where if you're trying to give people hope and aspiration, and actually tell people that yeah it's going to be okay, and yeah this trauma that you're suffering at the moment can be supported, and it can be you can build off that. Um, it's um, it's something that I've learned over time that yeah time is a healer, like I've said before. Um, but I think I'm always learning. Always feel that I can be better. I like I say, believe anything's possible. Um, but you need other people around you to help you. I think with obviously a lot more information and support around physical health and mental health, um, it's better together. It's better to have a strong team around you. And also, in those times when you do struggle, you need to have people that you can lean on. And that's why it's important to have people around you that you can trust,
Mm.
and think people that are genuine and honest, and people that will accept you for you, and that everybody's human and makes mistakes.
Mm.
Because the amount of people that maybe make a silly mistake, or kind of ill judgment in a certain area, and then they're just chastised, or kind of rejected because of maybe one silly mistake that's out of character. Um, and I think it's important to understand that we're all human,
Mm.
and sometimes with under stress, you make rash decisions in life that have a massive impact on your short term future, and believe that this day will pass, and you can have a brighter future. So
Mm.
in the dark times, there's always light, obviously, like you said before.
Yeah, there is, and uh, you really nailed it when you said people accept you for who you are. I think there's so many people on this planet that are so worried about being accepted for who they truly are and their
Yeah,
values, what they like, anything about themselves. But
yeah,
the right people will accept you for exactly the person you are. And
yeah. It's
you
hard to find
make
them though.
mistakes.
It's hard to find them, definitely. And yeah, trust is something that's built over time, clearly. Um, um, and they say that obviously there's three things in life that are guaranteed: that you're born, that you're going to die, and somebody's going to let you down. But that's the thing, isn't it? It's if you don't if you don't put yourself in that vulnerable space, then you'll never find out who you can trust. And yeah, you need to have a tight group of people that have got a vast amount of skills and knowledge, and that can look um, it can look like just a completely kind of, I don't know. It's like sometimes people gravitate to people that look like them. So when you look at groups of people, and so groups of friends, you're like, oh, and you look just like me, and you look just like me as well. Yeah, that's not very diverse. You know what I mean? It's not. Yeah, you're white. Oh, you're the same, and you like. Oh, that's great. Yeah, that I can't see like sustainability or in that area. You need to have a group of people that, like you say, that have got knowledge, wisdom, and also experience, but also people that you can kind of just ring up or go around for a coffee and just go, actually, this is me. And then you shut the door without any judgment, and you know that conversation is going to go nowhere.
Mhm.
Where I think in reality, you look at groups of people, groups of friends, where maybe some people use that knowledge to their own benefit, or it's short term, or people get married, have kids, and then move in a different direction. And it just shows how strong or not strong those relationships were in the first place.
Yeah, yeah, it all goes down to how strong they really are in the first place. You're right. And together, and the trust. Trust is huge, and it's not just built in a second. It is definitely built over
No.
time.
And
But
what about you from your perspective then? What about
what
uh,
I learned,
yeah,
I've learned I've learned that I've learned that I can do hard things. I've learned that I can do hard stuff. Let's say it like that. I've learned that, we don't want to be fighters in life, but I've learned that when I'm faced with a fight or a battle, even if I don't want to go through it, and even if I cry a lot and
yeah,
I feel really, really rubbish for a really long time, I've learned that I can get through every storm, and not just by myself, with the people around me, like we've said it. But anything is possible. And if you put your mind to something,
yeah,
you will achieve it no matter what it is. And I've also learned, I think as well, on a wider perspective, that every storm does pass. And I think we've briefly touched upon that too, that whatever it is that you're going through, whether it's going to last a day, a month, a year, longer, every storm does pass. But what it does is, you never go back to the person you were before anything in life. You never go back to that same person you were. You shift, you change, and
yeah,
moving with that as well. It's flowing with that and accepting that. There will be parts of you that stay the same, but there will be parts of you that you'll lose, and it will never return. And
yeah,
learning to love that part of you as well
yeah.
when it arrives.
That's it. And then I think when you meet people from your past, I do that quite a lot when obviously through school or just through like relationships that I've built through like my last 30, 40 years, that you realize that you've got a connection, but then maybe that connection's just at that time, and you can talk about it fondly, but then you've moved on and not necessarily grown. You've grown different ways, and it doesn't necessarily mean that their paths any more or less kind of rewarding than your own, but you just kind of you've built in a different way, and that's life, right? It's life.
Yeah, it's life. Nothing's constant. Everything's changing all the time, and
That's it.
yeah, you just keep going. And yeah, that's probably definitely what I've learned. And be open to the changes, because change is terrifying. It's
Yeah,
terrifying, but be
yeah,
open to it, because like you said before, if you're not vulnerable in life, not only will you not learn about yourself, but you'll miss so much of who you can be and
yeah,
what you can achieve if you aren't vulnerable.
yeah. I went to America and I worked in America for a year, and that was that. Yeah, that was a time of life where I didn't really have any direction, and that was obviously a massive kind of learning curve for me to find out what I want to do within like employment and like relationships and education, etc. And then obviously sport was again another different thing, and I think it's about kind of throwing yourself into these things, and then when things don't go to plan, then be brave again to actually go. Actually, I'm going to stop this now and then do something else. You don't have to. You have to carry on just because it's like it's bad and it's negative every day and you're hating it and it's a real grind. If you're in a situation where you feel it's like there's no positive outcomes, and just change. Just
Mm.
like, and don't be driven by money. Like money's like I hear people like, yeah, but yeah, I can't afford to do that or I can't afford to do this, and just if you're driven solely by money, you'll never grow. because you'll just chase the financials and you'll make decisions not about yourself. It'd be all about money, and it's such a bad thing.
Mhm. And I think also, if something hasn't worked out for you, I don't consider that a failure because
No, no,
in a way, actually, you've learned it's not for you or it doesn't suit you. It's not going to work for you, but that's not a failure. That's I've tried something. It's not part of my mission or my plan or my path.
yeah, 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 for sure, yeah, for sure.
And then, if you could give somebody advice that is going through that stage where it is very, very dark, and they aren't kind of seeing that glimmer of hope, that glimmer of light, what would you say to them?
Um, like I say, it definitely yeah, cliche thing is that it will pass. I think to sometimes write down those moments is key. So to journal just your thoughts, and then to come back on that at later times, and to see kind of the path of where you've been and understand how you've grown through those moments. I would say yeah, you're always learning. Life has those bumps in the road, and there's people to support you, and organisations also to support you if you do need them. Um, but it's also important to understand that it is life. It is life. Life isn't easy. You just sometimes need to battle in everything, whether it's keeping relationships, um, keeping on the right path, whatever. I don't think when you're on that smooth road where everything seems to be like cool and everything seems to be like smooth, maybe you're not putting your foot down hard enough on that accelerator. That's what I feel anyway. I feel that. And when things are going well for me, I'm always wanting to change stuff. So when those times are tough, I want to know I've got people around me that I can trust. I want to know people around me that can identify that maybe they're getting quite tough for me, and then can help me through those tough moments. Um, but remember that everybody's got a gift in life, and it's about trying to find that gift. And without having those tough moments, you won't find it.
Mm.
So that would be my kind of key kind of takeaway would be that the times that you're going through now are times of growth, and you're searching for that gift, and you'll find it out of that dark time. You'll find your gift.
I love that. Everybody has a gift. I've never heard it phrased in that way, really. And it's so simple, but it's true. Every single person.
Yeah, it isn't, and you find it all different times of your life. Whether you're a young person and it just kind of clicks into place, and you go, actually, this is what I'm going to do in life, and or you could be in your late 40s, 50s, and you've had a great life up to that point, but then all of a sudden you feel like there's something missing, and then all of a sudden you go, bang, this is my mission, and you kind of gravitate towards that style of life. And the thing that really frustrates me is when people give in, and I see it so much. They get to a certain age, they go, oh, they'll have like a big birthday, and it'd be like, that's it, the shutter goes down. I ain't doing shit from now on. And you go, what do you mean? Like this should be like this. You should be like this should be your platform to go. Actually, like you've had a big birthday. Let's start again. Let's just go for it instead of going just shutting down and oh yeah, I've earned all the money I want to earn, and I'm going to do nothing now. You go, why?
Yeah.
Why have you worked all your life for this moment to do nothing?
Yeah.
It's like that's just a waste of all that life. Instead of use all that time to then do something.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think when I obviously won my Paralympic gold medal in London, sorry to go back to it again. That was probably that moment. That was probably that moment where I'd worked so hard for that moment,
Yeah.
and then I obviously received that. And then now I'm doing some stuff with it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to run like a big charity event. I ran Land's End to John O'Groats, which is 40 marathons in 40 days. I wanted my own charity. I've got a charity that's reflective as me, that's diverse. And now I've got people that work for me that are building my brand to give back. There's no build my brand to be more financially stable. It's about build my brand to give back in lots of different areas. And yeah, hopefully people see that in the future, that I'm doing it for the right reasons and some exciting things to come from it.
Well, they'll be seeing it now, not just in the future. They'll be seeing it now as well.
Hopefully, I don't see it because I'm kind of in it. Do you know when you're in it, you kind of don't see it. And the only thing I see is my red lips from my beetroot juice. But do you know what I mean? I think when you're in it, you kind of don't see that. You don't see it, and it's incredible when people send you messages and say, "Oh, I did this event with the foundation," or "You sent me this, and it's really put a smile on my face," or "You spoke to my little boy," or whatever. And those kind of moments are really like powerful. And I had one when I was in uh, Doha recently at a marathon, and I did Doha marathon. It didn't go too well for me. I still ran okay, but it didn't go too well for me. Anyway, there was a children's race the day before, and there was 1,200 kids that ran in this children's race. It was massive, and they had a, a a part of the race that was for children with disabilities and autistic kids. Anyway, so me and an ex Premier League footballer and an international athlete were running with these kids. It was ace. It was it looked, felt, and like the kids had such a great experience. Anyway, so we finished, and I was walking back to the tent, and I saw this kid who was like gravitating towards me. Anyway, he came over and he said, "Oh, Richard, thank you for running with me, but I've got one question." And literally, then opened up in front of all these other people, said, "Oh, I've got autism, and I've been bullied at school. What advice would you give me so that um, I don't let bullies win in the future?" And I was like, I was going to swear then. I was like, how am I going to answer such a powerful question? It was like, and then, yeah, and so then we had a conversation about kind of your own self worth and not letting bullies win, and that having autism is like a superpower, and feel that that bullies have the problem, not you. And it was no, it was a real moment that I'll always remember. And I've been, like I say, I've been to marathons all over the world, and one of the moments will be the one that recently, and that one, and it just shows how powerful just showing up, just being you is, because people will gravitate to you when the moment's right, and also they will create that safe space for them to ask those questions.
Yeah, you know what? And I just want to share something because I had a very similar moment in a way. I went to my primary school a few years ago and did a talk, and based on everything. I'd already started the podcast, and then I went back the following year, and the kids I'd spoken to in year five were now in year six. And this one kid came over to me at the end who'd seen me the year before, and he obviously came over to me this year, and he just went, "When are you getting the next episode of your podcast out?" And I was like, "What?" I mean, he must have been
When's Richard
like 10.
Whitehead coming on your podcast?
He must have been like 10 years old. And he was like, "When are you getting the next one out?" He was like, "I've been listening
Wow.
for the last year."
Yeah.
And I was just like, if he listens to this today, he knows who he is. And I just sat there and I thought, wow, like
Yeah.
a 10-year-old boy. And
Yeah. Yeah. It's obviously resonating with the audience, and that's what's important. That the content that you put out hits those notes with people around what their takeaways are, and that's what's really important. It's about identifying the audience and then giving the audience some support with a narrative that maybe some people are struggling, some people haven't found their niche yet, haven't really identified what their aspirations are in the future, and also found their gift. And sometimes it's just one of those moments in life, and all of a sudden things become a lot clearer. I think it probably was it for me. It was more around overcoming a lot of adversity and the ability to. When I was younger, at primary school, I didn't smile a lot, and I think it was because I felt like my disability was always like something that was spoke about me, above me. So, do you know, like I think sometimes disabled people in a group are spoken about. So, oh, this person needs support, or this. Yeah, don't speak too loud because they have an issue with their disability or whatever. So they spoke over, and I think maybe when I was younger, that was a situation with me, and I felt that I was being suppressed because of my disability, and I think that's what we need to get over. And then when I got in secondary school, everything changed, and kind of found my niche, and that was sport. Um, and because I was quite good at it as well, that really did help. But you don't need to be good at it to use it as an opportunity of enrichment for sure.
And what you said just before as well, whether you haven't found your gift yet, or you're in a dark space, or whatever it is that you don't feel, is you yet, that's okay. I
Yeah, yeah,
say
for sure.
people
Yeah, for
know.
sure. And just kind of just keep keep like being open to new opportunities in life. And I think volunteering is a massive thing for me. If you go out there and volunteer in lots of different um, groups that are around, simple things like maybe some social groups in your community, church groups, sports groups,
Yeah.
maybe there's just a group of friends, just embrace new communities, and you'll find something that really does kind of ignite those passions. Like I say, I've uh, through this journey from having my charity, and I've I've been to lots of different group sessions that have been completely out of my kind of comfort zone, and because of that, I've like not only just been more empathetic towards those groups, but also just learn about some of the challenges and obstacles, and also some of the stigmas and discrimination that some of the groups have. And yeah, it's refreshing. It's so refreshing, and I've gained a lot of friends from that as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's truly amazing what can happen when you put yourself out your comfort zone.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, like run a marathon. All 102 of them. Yeah, I know it's crazy, right?
Yeah, all 102 of them.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share today?
Not really. I think it's yeah, life's just difficult. It's difficult at the moment, isn't it? And you look at like the the world as we see it, um, and people just need to hang on in there, but also understand that yeah, it's you need to work hard. You need to. It is just everybody's struggling,
Mhm.
or whether you physically can see it or not. There's always barriers and obstacles for people, and those struggles that are the worst are the ones you can't see. Those people that turn up with a happy, smiley face that everything seems to be going well for, underlying might have some real challenges and obstacles that you can't actually see. So give people time, be kind, and to be able to live in harmony is like a really, really important thing. But also, I think we can support each other and provide each other with the time that we need to grow. Yeah, yeah, time's important, isn't it? So we've all had people that have lost life due to cancer or accident or trauma, and yeah, embrace it and value time as we don't know how much we've got. And again, that's it when you work in some of these sectors where you're being exposed to people that have got uh, limited time on the planet due to maybe conditions that they suffer. You realise that life is important and really embrace it.
Mm. Yeah, life is important and absolutely embrace it however you want to embrace it. That's the key. However you want to do it, just do it.
That's it for sure. And also, like, when those moments come, like kind of enjoy them with people around you. It's I think, it shouldn't all be like stress and anxiety, and like we should be happy and be fulfilled, and I've, like I've had some fantastic opportunities in life, but I've had to work my arse off for them, and nothing's been easy. And I hopefully have a lot more. Hopefully have a lot more, and I might smile a little bit more, and not be grumpy. Um, yeah, everybody that's ever supported me, I always thank them. I think that's important as well. Feel that those individuals that support you, those that are listening, yeah, thank those people. Make sure they feel that you value their time and the effort they put into you, because you'll have that support forever if you want it. And those friendships and relationships are important, so make sure those people know. So that's it, really.
I agree. I really like that. I really do. And here's to many, many more. Not hopefully more. Here's to many, many more. So
That's it.
thank you for being here today. Life will knock us down, sometimes hard, and sometimes more than once. And when it feels impossible, know that your story isn't over yet. Sometimes when everything is falling apart, it's really falling into place. You have the power to rise, to heal, to make magic, and to evolve. And you have the power inside you. We all do. You have the power to get back up.